Cal OKC Thunder. Mark, after the game, Shai just talked about the aggressiveness that he felt like the team showed on the defensive end of the floor that led to a lot of the offense. What did you notice on that end?
Yeah, I thought we were just a lot more edgy today than we were yesterday, and I thought the guys, it's not about responding to one game, but it certainly is about us recognizing where our standards are and getting the car back on the road when we're not up to par. And I thought the guys did a great job of that today. We came out with a great edge. Certainly slipped up a couple times during the game, but course corrected very well and played a pretty complete 48.
Just to have Shai be able to execute off of different attacks in that first quarter, and then Dub be able to do it in the second quarter, it feels like you've got an opportunity each quarter to have somebody that it can get you a bucket late in the shot clock, or attack off of somebody else's attack. What kind of value does that have over the course of a 48-minute game to feel like you've got a high-level attacker in every unit?
Yeah, you need advantages. It's hard to score or move the ball without an advantage, and those guys are advantage creators. Shai tonight, I thought they got really aggressive with him with double teams, which volunteers an advantage. It allows us to get the ball ahead of the defense. I thought we had good attacks out of that for the most part. And obviously, Dub really had it going tonight.
Shai played off. It seemed like Shai played off the ball a little bit more today. It seemed like messed up the Kings a little bit. What do you think about that adjustment you guys made and how they reacted to it?
Yeah, I think when a team's doubling him like that, getting him off the ball is a good thing. It allows us to maybe screen for him. It allows us to shake him free or gain an initial advantage before he gets it. Or if they're just doubling him over half court, it makes it harder for them to do that high on the floor. Then if they want to double, they have to do it in the scoring area, which usually is an advantage. So it's just part of our attacks. We're continuing to learn as these teams throw different things at us, and I thought we attacked them well today.
Mark, you guys, they hurt you on the boards in the first half quite a bit. Second half, they made more shots, so there were fewer offensive rebounds. But it seemed like also you guys cleaned up some of those loose balls, some of that stuff a little bit better in the second half. Is there anything different there?
Not really. I thought our effort, in the first half was pretty good too. Like sometimes it's the bounce of the ball. We're not going to play perfect, but I thought the energy on the defensive end was pretty much there for most of the night. We got a little sloppy, in parts of the game on offense. As well as we scored it, I still thought we could have played better on that end of the floor, but defensively we were able to sustain a pretty good level of juice.
Chet was talking yesterday about the way offense and defense, the way it works together, that if you can get stops and get out in fast break, now you also don't have to play against a set defense all the time. Did you get the mixture there more today that you wanted?
Yeah, that's the benefit of scoring. Is scoring allows you to set your defense, and stops allow you to run. It's more efficient to score in transition, so you get a stop, you rebound, you run. Now your efficiency goes up. You're more likely to score. You're more likely to score. You're more likely to set your defense. More likely to set your defense. You're more likely to get a stop. It's all cyclical.
And then the last thing before the game today, didn't ask. Do you know when Bismack is going to be available to you?
After All-Star break, won't be in Orlando.
It seemed like it was a more concerted effort to push the pace and beat their defense up the floor, even on the makes. Was it a concerted effort of trying to get that pace up?
Yeah, our transition offense the last 9 or 10 games has not been great in terms of distribution, in terms of production. We were a top 5 transition team for the first 42, 43 games of the season, and that dropped off recently in games where we were getting stops, and so it's been a point of emphasis here for the last couple days, and I thought the guys did a good job of running today.
Mark, rebounding's been something that's been talked a lot, but this year, how exactly do you frame just rebounding for this team, especially in an NBA that's so three-point reliant that it's obvious you can't just send everybody to the paint? Like, how is there layering? How exactly do you spread the guys around the floor to get boards in, I guess, the hot spots?
Yeah, the rebounding area is usually anywhere from where the shot's taken. So, if the shot's taken close to the basket, it's not going to bounce out to the three-point line usually unless it gets back-tipped. So we want everybody in the rebounding area or around the rebounding area, and then you got to block out, teams send guys to the glass. and not just their 5 men. We tend to struggle, with the big, strong 5s, but we also struggle with the crashing wings. It's usually when we have bad rebounding games, you look down, it's not just one guy, it's like a collective thing. So it needs to be a collective thing on our end too. But we're trying to block out, and we're trying to get guys to the rebounding area. That's our deal.
De'Aaron Fox usually has pretty good games against you. He got some stuff late, but really was not as big a factor as he's been in the past.
Yeah, I thought Lou did a good job on him in the first half especially. We got him really under control there. He has gotten loose against us. He shot the ball incredibly well this season. I give him a lot of credit. He was not a shooter coming out of college into the NBA. And he's really developed an off-the-dribble three-point shot that you have to honor. It forces you to go over on screens on him. It really has made him dynamic, and so he's done a heck of a job as a player. And he's given us trouble, obviously, in the past, but I thought we did a good job on him today. Lou and then everybody else in the help.
You also went with Chet and Jalen there late in the fourth. What did you see there?
Yeah, I mean, it's Jalen does a good job on Sabonis at the point of attack. Sabonis is puts his shoulder into you and can get deep with the ball, and so Jalen helps there in having Chet behind it to deter shots, help rebound. He had a steal late that was big. It just gives us a lot of cumulative length on the court, and it's just another look for us that we wanted to take a look at tonight. We'll continue to look at when the opportunities present themselves.
Anybody else? Two more, Barry and then Derek.
Yeah, Mark. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, there.
To kind of piggyback off that, and the double
I gotta
big,
get out of here. Hurry up and figure this out.
To piggyback off the double big lineup, you also threw Kenrich and Zhang and Dub out there with them. It was just a really big lineup. I was just curious what you were seeing to kind of throw those 5 out there.
Yeah, just cumulative size. It was beginning of the second, I think. They had matchups for us out there. Just trying to take a look at it. Put size on the floor. See how they work with that. I think doing it early in the game gives you a sense of how it looks, so that you can see whether or not you want to go back to it. And it was obviously good for us tonight. Chet and J-Will.
Mark, I assume you've started formulating a plan for Hayward, maybe Biombo, in terms of how you want to use him rotationally, and I assume you hadn't finalized that plan.
Yep.
My question is, during a game, are you so focused on Kings Thunder on a Sunday afternoon, does it ever come into your mind, hey, this might be a spot like I might could use at Gordon Hayward or anything like that?
Not today, but I've certainly thought about it since we've acquired those guys, and all I'll say is it's going to be we're going to try to make it as smooth and seamless as possible, which probably is not going to look like a ton right away. It's going to be put them in a role that the team can accept. The rotation, I should say. The team will accept anything, but the rotation can accept and put them in a role where they can thrive early, and then see what happens from there, let it unfold from there. But we've obviously had a nice season before their arrival, and so making sure that we lean on that first before we start getting hasty in terms of how much we use them. That's my initial mindset on it.
Nick Gallo, OKC Thunder. Lou, Shai just said that there was such an aggressiveness to your approach tonight as a team on both sides of the ball. How did you feel like that impacted things early and set a tone for the game as it went on?
A lot. I mean, it was a conversation we had for the game about how we started game recently, and especially the last game we played yesterday. So we just wanted to have a better start, which we did. We wanted to be more aggressive on both sides of the floor, and which it helped.
30 points off turnovers in this one. I know that's been a theme all season, but against an offense that's that potent, how critical is it to be able to use your defense to fuel offense to keep pace?
It's huge. I mean, I feel like we always have an advantage whenever we play fast and in transition. So every time we had turnovers or rebounds, we just wanted to play fast, and we did good.
Mark said that you don't want to overreact to one game in a season, but when you play the way you guys did yesterday, do you want to pick that apart and say, like, let's not do any of the stuff we did yesterday?
Oh yeah, I mean we don't ever want to play like that. It's not a game that we want to play. So I mean it's gonna happen. It's life. It's basketball. We gonna get beat big. We gonna win some big games too. So but we just don't want this to happen. So, we just got to watch film, fix it, and it's on to the next.
Mark was talking about that lately the transition offense hasn't been up to kind of the standard that you guys have played to. Is that something you guys had talked about turning defense into offense a little bit more than you have been lately?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know we have an advantage whenever we play fast, so we want to stick to that. We kind of went away from that for a couple games, but it's okay. We just got to get back to it, which we did today.
With the game like yesterday, how important was it for you guys to just internally get back to that defensive activity that you came into the game with today?
I mean, it was huge. I mean, we don't like being in those type of games when we down by so much and we got to do so much to get back in the game. So our main thing was to just be more aggressive from the start, which we did today.
With Shai was playing off the ball a little bit more, seemed to really open up things for you guys. How much did that help you and the guys out there with him playing off the ball?
I mean, it helps a lot. They throwing a lot of different stuff at Shai just because he's been having an unbelievable year. So, it's good when he's off the ball and there's other guys that can create at the same time on the team. So, he's just doing good at that. And whenever he gets whatever defense or coverage they send at him, he's always trying to make the right play. So, a lot of credit to him. It's not easy to be in his position to see different type of defense every game. So, what we did today helped.
Heading into this game, I mean, obviously with De'Aaron being one of the best guards in the league, you've always been attached and assigned to some of the best guards in the league. I mean, what was your approach heading into today when you had to be matched up with him, obviously making him struggle early on?
To be tough, I mean, he's a good guard, really fast. He can do a lot on the court. So to just make everything tough for him, especially after a game like yesterday, where I felt like I didn't do my job right as a defender, and then having the main guy on the other team. So today was just an approach on being aggressive. He still had a good game, but my approach was kind of different.
Lou, we just talked to Mark about rebounding, and he mentioned it's not just big sometimes that hurts you. It's a lot of wings that will drive and cut and crash the boards. You're doing a good job of that now, and you're doing it more frequently. Is there a certain situation, certain personnel that Mark wants you to go do that, or is it just sort of feel an opportunity when you see it?
Yeah, opportunity when I see it. I mean, it's not just the bigs. All of us can just go in there. It's not just me, and it's the other guards too. So whenever I can go help, or I should go every time. We just need to secure the rebound. Don't matter who gets it. We just need to get the rebound.
Anybody else?
Nick Gallo, OKC Thunder. For both of you guys, it seems like you all did a great job of sort of leveraging when they were being over-aggressive on the perimeter to be able to get the back cuts and that kind of stuff. What are some triggers for you guys when you're recognizing that style of defense to be able to get those angles to the rim and those back cuts? How is that opening up?
Oh, I cut more than you, I feel like, yeah. I think a lot of it is just being aggressive early in the game. I think that puts teams on like high alert, chasing us off, stuff like that. So then it becomes, they might jump a screen and stuff like that. So then it's kind of just like a read to see if they're overplaying. But I think a lot of that is just, being able to get out in transition, I think puts a lot of pressure on a lot of defenses, and then that opens up us being able to cut and play off each other that way.
Shai, there were a bunch of help the helper plays defensively for you guys. You had a big block on the backside on one. Were those extra efforts game changing today?
Yeah, that's the defense we try to be. Make multiple efforts, help each other. Obviously, you're not going to be perfect throughout a game. There's going to be slip-ups, but if we help each other and scramble and try to make multiple efforts, it'll cover itself up. We did a good job of that tonight.
Shai, you said yesterday after the way the afternoon games had gone, and especially the way yesterday went, that energy at the beginning would be kind of a point of emphasis. Were you happy with the way you guys responded and came out?
We came out really good today. And I think it set the tone for the rest of the night. We're playing to our identity from the jump.
Jay, when you guys play a game like that, Mark said you never want to overreact to one game, but when you play the way you played yesterday, do you sit on that and do you sit with it and think about we don't want to do this, we don't want to do this, we got to correct yesterday, fix it today?
A little bit. You know, we had a back-to-back, so you try and scratch. You know, even if we would have won that game, you know, you try and scratch those pretty quick just because you're playing the back-to-back. But I think just the way we lost, a lot of it was just our identity. Like, we played slow, we didn't defend well, so a lot of that we understood was pretty fixable. And, you know, it's the NBA when you're not kind of on your game, especially, you know, against a good team. You know, they can, you know, anybody can lose like that. So, yeah, we just tried to come out here and make that more of an emphasis.
For either guy, that Mark had said you guys felt like you'd gotten away a little bit from some of the stops, getting you out in transition and playing fast. Is this something you guys have talked about recently?
Yeah, especially just kind of the beginning of the game sets the tone for the rest of the game. I thought we did a good job of that tonight. You know, we came out playing really hard, and we were able to, you know, sustain that for the whole game.
I mean, Shai was playing off the ball a little bit more today. How much does that really open up things for you guys?
He draws a lot of attention, so even when he's not in the action, teams have to worry about him. So, you know, it gives us a lot more space to kind of move freely for our offense. You know, we have a lot of other weapons on the court as well. So when he's able to kind of play off the ball, and, you know, we're able to actually go screen for him too. So I think that opens up his game as well. It just creates a lot more of an advantage offensively.
And then Shai, it seems like you were trying to set the tone on the defensive end today. How much of a focus was that for you?
Yeah, especially last game, I didn't think we defended the way we normally do. And usually when you lose by that big of a margin, starts defensively. And I just tried to kind of turn the tide a little bit from the jump. I think it carried over.
For either of you guys, you both have found like some comfort in the mid-range and sort of signature spots for you. When you get to that, is that like, what's the progression of that? Is it a spot that you say, I want to get really good at this spot, or is it more something of, I'm already good here, this is something I want to get to more frequently?
So when, I guess for me, it's just like, when I'm playing and attacking, there's certain spots that I can get to, and I want to make sure that I can capitalize at those spots as much as possible. And that's I guess kind of what my construction and my development in workouts looks like. I play a certain way, and I get to certain spots on the floor pretty easy, and when I get there, I want to be able to capitalize.
And then lots been talked about you guys being a very close, tight-knit team. Are any Super Bowl plans for all you guys to hang out tonight?
We're going to somebody's house. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Everybody's tired. Yeah, we're going somewhere. They're playing the old bowl.
Well, yeah, that was kind of my next question. I mean, is for both of y'all. I mean, on a night from back to back, you know, when you guys are heading into the fourth quarter and you see Malik Monk hit some of the shots that he was hitting and get them back in the game, I mean, where does that, you know, second gear come in the fourth quarter for both of you guys to step up and make big shots and, you know, come out with the win?
I think just sticking to the game in general, just kind of how the game was going. Like, they're a good team, so they're like, you know, they're going to hit shots. Tonight it was Malik Monk, and, you know, that's you know, he does that. Like, he has a track record of doing that. So it's kind of just being able to respond. Thought we did a good job of down the stretch having them shoot some tough ones, and, you know, NBA, you know, hit tough shots. But I think we did a good job of just kind of sticking to our identity defensively, and we were able to kind of get stops, which fueled, you know, us being able to go down and score.
Earl, I know you didn't play the fourth quarter yesterday. Are you thinking more get stops or get offense?
Get stops. This is what I was taught, like, from a very young age. Like, if you get stops, like, it's a little bit dramatic, but how I was taught was, if you get a stop every possession, the worst that happens is a tie. If you score every possession, you let them score every possession, you can still lose. So I always think get stops when I'm trying to win a game.